has anybody focused on the civilian in South Africa? Has the emphasis ever been on the population, on ordinary people? Because to me, a government and corporates and the media and all people in power and authority are there to improve the quality of life of people. Have we improved the quality of life of people? We go back to a fantastic World Cup that we hosted, but people are still locked up in their houses with burglar alarms and security all over. Is that a quality of life? We're talking about big investments for companies. Is investment to benefit the company, the CEOs and the executives, or is it there to benefit the staff and down the line and the economy as a whole? We're talking about all this growth and development, but who eventually benefits from all this money? And also when we talk about crisis, and we got 3.5%, we want 5.7%, but we're only going to get 1.4%. At the end of the day, it is affecting the development of the country. And how much do we focus on the rights of the workers? Yes, we want to fight the labor. We want to fight with each other. But I say that we can reach, to me, there should be a spiritual element in business. We have a teaching that he that has, those who don't have a share in those that have. And to me, if business and labor work together for the benefit of the country, if there's respect. So it's simple. I'll give my own example. I'm not in business. I take money from business. So I'm not in business. To me, I worked as a one-man band when I started off in 1992. And then I learned the value of trusting people. And I said, okay, it's time to open a second office and put a manager. And I say, you now have the right to do whatever you want. Showed him respect. He brought in his own staff. They were shown respect. Whatever needs they had was seen to within the ambit of a charity organization. And when you start respecting people, they start respecting the organization. And they go out of their way to increase productivity, to benefit other people. Do we do that in business, or do we want to make maximum profits? Do we want to try to take everything out of the workers, for example, in the mining case? You asked me, was I criticized? We were criticized for getting involved in Marikana. And it was big business. I mean, I got a call 2 days after the inauguration. And I was told the bosses are not happy, meaning those at Lutuli House. And I said, what do you mean the bosses are not happy? But of course, he could be shooting off his mouth. I can't say Lutuli House said that. So he said, no, they said, leave them alone. I said, leave who alone? The workers and in the mines. And I said, why should I leave them alone? What about the wife and the children and those that are hungry? You're asking for social revolt. They said, no, if the children are hungry a little longer, and the women are hungry a little longer, and starve a little longer, they would then force the husbands to go back to work. Oh, so I said, is this coming from Lutuli House? I said, please, I don't believe that. And this was supposed to be a very connected businessman. I'm not saying that this has come from the thinking of Lutuli House. It was probably a businessman trying to use his association. As the president says, name dropping is very often. They said, probably said, President Zuma said this, very common to say that. But I mean, if this is the mentality of business, let's make maximum profit, let people starve, it doesn't matter. We need to show the shareholders how much money we've made. And who are the shareholders? The countries in the north. So where is your interest in your own people? To me, the focus should be your own people first. It doesn't matter what the rest of the world has to say. If you don't have ethics, you don't have morality, and it's very simple to understand. Put yourself in the position of those who are lower down. If you can reverse the situation and say, okay, would I like to be like that? Would I like to be treated in that manner? If CEOs can go to that kind of business or go to that kind of course, take them into the other position. The guy said they're very well paid in the mine. Will you go 3 kilometers down the mine shaft in that heat and come out with asbestosis and TB and die at the age of 40? What did the children tell me, the youth tell me? My great-grandfather was in a mine, we made no progress. We're talking about beneficiation, resources. That's not benefiting our people in this country. It makes no sense to me. They went in the mine and they said, my great-grandfather did this, he didn't benefit. My father went into the mine, he didn't benefit. I'm going to go into the mine, I'm not going to benefit. And the person below me is going to go into the mine and he's not going to benefit. What have we achieved? We can show the shareholders big profits in the country, great GDP, balance of payments improved, inflation has gone down, but the people you're supposed to benefit in your country are not benefiting because somebody else wants to make maximum money. To me, that is a big problem. The second, let's move away from the economic focus. Everybody's worried about job creation, unemployment. But there's a big other social problem in this country. I mean, when people rape a 2-year-old child, when women are raped, it's abused, and the way we use the term rape is like shoplifting. It has no more meaning anymore. To rape is a very major trauma, psychological trauma. It robs the woman of dignity. It's an invasion of the privacy. In Islamic country, the penalty is a death sentence. I mean, people say we are extreme, but the rule is more to prevent the occurrence of the event. And we take it so lightly. We have 18 days of activism. We have all kinds of activism. But how serious are we about protecting the citizen? It's not about the economics. It's about how can you live in peace and dignity. So it's not about how much money we can make. And coming to the money issue also, there is enough money in this country. I think the management of the money is very bad. You know, the way it's used, I mean, if the company is collapsing, you see where you can save money, how you can cut expenses. But at the end of the day, the CEOs still want their bonus and the double bonus and the extra shares. When I say spirituality, it should be a shared thing. The people on the ground, those who are making the company thrive, the CEOs, everybody, nobody's saying don't take a bonus, but let it go down all the way, because that money then circulates in the economy. There's more buying, there's more growth in every way. That's another problem. Again, we talk about economic growth, but in maths, we are so far down the line. How do you explain when promise is made to a student at a varsity, and the end of the year comes, and the government financial scheme doesn't pay the fee of the student that's supposed to pay, and he doesn't get his results at the end of the year? His promise the whole year has been told, I will get so much money, and I'll be paid off. But at the end of the year, he's been deprived, he's been robbed. And somebody has filled with the money, and a promise made by the student, the bursary fund from government, is not paid to the student. It destroys an entire child. And how do you explain when a child phones you from university and says, my boarding is paid, my food is paid, my academic institution, my fees are paid, but I'm collapsing in the class. I'm hungry. I'm starving. I can't focus. We feed 2,500 students twice a day in UJ for the whole year. And there's many more above that. And there's many more in WITS and in other universities. It may be elite institutions, but kids are starving. And the common knowledge is, if you're hypoglycemic, if you don't have food, all this money that you spend 100 grand a year is a waste of time, because they can't adapt, and then you say the kids are stupid. It's not stupid. It's poverty.